Hey, Dorian, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great, thank you. It feels like we're talking to a young guy, and you are the most experienced returning quarterback in the Pac-12, which I'm sure you've heard this year. When you've heard that,
Yes.
does that hammer something home to you?
Um, no, not really. I mean, you look around the league and you got guys like Jaden Daniels, Keaton Slovis at USC. So those guys are doing a phenomenal job. And I just take it day by day and kind of focus on my team and myself. So
So many people ask, and I'm sure you've been asked a lot about what you did during the quarantine, and we know you were going to Dallas, quarterback coach, but the boxing element's what's fascinating, working out with your brother. So what's the best, most transferable workout you took from the boxing world that you employed as a quarterback?
yeah, I mean, I think being a quarterback and being a boxer and all that stuff, you're always the rotational athlete, right? So just working on my core, working on that rotational strength and always being able to get in the right position with your feet and having it from the ground up, I think it's probably the most beneficial thing I've gotten from boxing so far.
Okay. You've also talked about the fact that Coach Kelly's given you, I like the phrase keys to the castle, but a little bit of freedom without giving away trade secrets, which I know you're not going to do. But just as we watch on November 7, what will we see? What will we likely see that will let us know that you have that freedom?
Yeah, I think just more of a dynamic offense. And what's great about it is it's not only me; it's the offense as a whole. From the O line to the running backs to the receivers to the tight ends. I think you'll see everybody having a lot, like you said, more freedom, more keys to the castle, and so I'm really excited for November 7th to come around.
Do you start? Do you think like Coach Kelly now in going into third year?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Me and him, we always have conversations, whether it's in between plays, after practices, in between practices. So that's one thing I'm really enjoying right now is that communication, that relationship with him. That's just been even more beneficial to me, as well as the rest of the team throughout this whole off season.
How much faster do you play now than you did when you first played for Coach Kelly?
Yeah, I've heard this term before, league pace, and so you're just moving at a different pace. Everything's slowing down for you, and I think that's what's going on right now, especially during fall camp. I'm getting to my reads a lot faster, seeing the defense a lot more better. So I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm moving at league pace right now.
Can you get faster?
Always, always, always,
Always.
always.
That sounds like Coach Kelly. Hey, something while we're talking about Coach Kelly, he's always been on the forefront of player health, player safety, and right now that's a paramount issue. Just give us a sense of what that's like at UCLA football, given local restrictions, given the importance for you, by the way, as the quarterback, to continue to handle your business right and test positive or test negative, rather.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Since day one, since this whole shutdown, quarantine, pandemic happened, UCLA has, I think, been the forefront of, health and safety, kind of taking things real slow, not easing back into things and all that stuff. So I think we do a phenomenal job here with our health staff, our doctors, our trainers, and everything. It's all the way up to Coach Kelly, really putting our health and safety at the forefront of everything. And, for me personally, being the quarterback, I got to be the leader of everything and making sure I'm doing things right so I can then get on guys if they're doing things wrong and stuff like that. So, but I think the team overall is doing a really good job right now with all that stuff.
Okay. Receivers are back. Talk about the receiving core.
Man, I think it all starts with Jalen, Kyle, and Chase. That three-headed monster right there. They've been in this system for 3 years now. They know it just as well as I do, if not better. So just having those three guys leading that receiver room, I couldn't ask for anything more.
And now we all understand you got to replace Joshua Kelly. That's big. It's a big burden, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's a phenomenal back. He's doing a phenomenal job right now with the Chargers. But it's a lot easier when you have a guy like Felton back there at number 10. So he's doing a great job right now, leading the younger guys, getting all those guys ready. And, he's looked great so far, too, in fall camp. So I can't wait to see what he does on November 7th as well.
All right, last one here, Dorian. Many of your fellow players who've talked today have touched on issues of 2020 that aren't necessarily football. You this morning put out a tweet, just said vote. Talk about your feeling, your passion about that, and your reason to do that.
Yeah, I think it all starts with how I was raised. Voting's always been a big part of my family and what we do as a family and as a culture. So, just me being older now, being more mature, me being able to vote, I think that automatically puts me at a different level of responsibility, leadership, to be able to tell other people, get other people to try and vote. Not only people I don't know, as well as just my teammates, really barking at them about it and stuff like that. So, like I said, I tweeted about it. I voted the other day, and I hope everybody else does as well too.
All right. Thanks, DTR. And I'm going to turn it back to Jesse.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Ted. We'll go to questions from the media now. If you do have a question, please use the raise hand function to get into the queue. And to lead us off, we'll go with Ben Bolt from the LA Times.
What's up, Dorian?
Doing, Ben?
Good. You mentioned those phrases, freedom and keys to the castle, a couple of times now. Can you elaborate on kind of what that means?
I think, just the offense and me and the rest of the guys around the offense, just being more dynamic, being able to do a bunch of different things with the ball and a bunch of different plays, and not just sticking to one option. You have multiple options on every different play now. So, follow-up
question. Have you guys shortened the playbook at all, given kind of the unique situation and getting ready for a season a little bit faster than normal?
No, actually. So since this is year 3 with not only me, but the whole team, Coach, I think, has actually put in more plays. So, we've got the whole playbook in now, and it's looking really well so far.
Do you feel like you guys are ready for that, even some of the new guys that are going to play?
Oh, yeah. We're not waiting for anybody. Those freshmen, they know they got to catch up. And so all the older guys know we're not waiting around for anybody. So we're going to go and go full speed and full tilt.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. We will go to Nick Hamilton, Nightfall Media.
Hey, Dorian, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Wanted to ask you, how optimistic were you when it came to not understanding or knowing if you guys want to even have a season due to COVID-19? What were you doing to prepare in case you did have a season? Excuse me.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was take it day by day. I think that's the motto I stuck with all clean, not worrying about the uncontrollables, just worrying about what I can control on a daily basis, which was my relationship with my teammates and my personal health and workout. So I think that's what I did, and it really paid off to this point. So, could I had told you 5 months ago that we were going to play? No, but, kept faith and worked really hard, and now we're here. So.
Being that UCLA has always been a progressive university, how important is it for you as a quarterback to use your voice to stand up against social injustice, police brutality, and things of that nature?
Yeah, no, I think everybody looks at the quarterback, whether he says something or not. And so, for me, being able to speak up for my team, being able to speak up for my teammates that, may not think their voice is as heard and stuff like that. So they all come to me and stuff with things that they want to say. And I just kind of express their ideas almost, as well as my own. And so I think that's one of the biggest things. One of the biggest responsibilities I have is, speak up for those that really can't per se. And so I think that's what I did this offseason.
Thanks, Dorian.
Okay, next question will go to Tracy Pearson, Bruin Sports Online.
Hey, Dorian, how you doing, man?
Doing good.
Good. Since we haven't been able to watch fall camp, we want to use your eyes a little. Tell us a little bit about the guys around you, offensive line, how they're doing since you first started fall camp. Paul Gratton, if he's moved in with the ones. Britton Brown, how he's doing at running back. And we're kind of curious about Jamal McClendon because he's listed at 240 now. So just wondering what he's like physically too.
Yeah, I think everybody knows about the offense and all the starters. So for some sleepers for you guys, I think Keegan Jones is going to be a really big one. Like you said, Britton is coming coming along really well. It's along with Evidence and Joku from Miami. Paul's looking really good. He's working with the 2s and 3s right now, getting a little mix in with the 1s. He's looking really good as well, picking up on the playbook, showing that real leadership that he's brought from Villanova. And as well as Jamon, really a big physical back. Like I said, he knows the playbook now. He's really getting into it and really rotating in with the 2s and 3s, as well as sprinkling in with the 1s here and there too. So really excited for all the guys though, and this offense as a whole. And I can't wait to see what these guys do on November 7th as well.
Okay, next question will go to Ed Robledo, the Southern California News Group.
Hi, Dorian. I wanted to ask you about Greg Dolce, and a guy who was a walk-on from St. Francis who earned a scholarship, and we had a conversation with him recently, and the other players have said some really good things about him, how far he's come. Can you talk about his progress and what you expect from him this year?
And for me, I think he's like a Josh Kelly, a guy that from day one, nose down, comes in, blue-collar guy that comes in and works every day. And his work has obviously shown up to this point, being able to get in with the starters, get on scholarship and stuff like that. So I think he's worked really hard, as well as he's also my roommate. So I get to see him every day, build that relationship with him every day. And so we always get to connect with each other. And now he's a starting tight end here. I get to really build that relationship with him on a whole nother level. So, yeah.
And just to follow up, what's he like, having as a roommate? I covered him when he was in high school at St. Francis, and, such a, everything. He was such a football guy. I mean, what's that like, having him around you the whole time?
Oh yeah. He's always, in his iPad on his playbook, watching film,
right.
going over, always asking me and stuff like that. So definitely a really good guy to be around. As well as just, a phenomenal person. I don't have to worry about him, being a messy person or anything like that. So he's definitely a good roommate to have.
Very good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, next question will go to Rick Timbrell, Bruin Blitz.
Hi, Dorian. Tell us, how's the defense coming along? They've struggled all 3 years that you've been there, and for you guys to be the type of team you need to be, they have to pick it up. How are they doing in practice? Are they making it tough on you?
Oh yeah, for sure. From the 2.5 years that I've been here, this is probably the most complete defense that I've seen, from the back end all the way up to the D line, in terms of chemistry and being in unison and being on the same page. This is the best I've seen so far. So like I said, these guys are giving me really good trouble, as well as really good competition throughout the day. And so, these guys have really come on as a unit and as a group, and I think they're looking really good right now.
Are they able to put any pressure on you?
Oh yeah, the D-line and O-line competition is definitely one to see every day, and definitely one that I get to, be right in the middle of it. So, I'm definitely feeling the heat from them at times.
Okay, next question will go to Tony Siracusa, last word for college football.
Hey, Dorian, what's the biggest progression that you think you need to make going into your junior year, being obviously the leader of this team, from a football standpoint or from a leadership on the team standpoint? What's the biggest step up that you need to make?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I think I led the country in turnovers last year. So I think if I eliminate those, we'll be a lot better off. And so I think that's the biggest progression I need to make this year, is just keeping the ball on offense and not turning it over to the other team.
And what have you been doing during the offseason to focus on that?
Working with the running backs, making sure ball security is always at a forefront. And then also, just, again, knowing the defense, knowing the offense as best I can, so I can go out there, read it as well as I can, and throw to the open guy instead of the other team. So.
All right, great. Thanks, Dorian.
Okay, next question will go to Dennis Freeman, News for Us Online.
Dorian, in the last couple of years, where do you feel like you've improved the most as a quarterback?
My understanding of the game, not only just what we do on offense, as well as what the defense is doing and what Coach Kelly is trying to do on each play and every play and what he's trying to get out of each play. Like I said, me and Coach Kelly's relationship has grown a ton this offseason, especially. And so, just being able to know what he wants and kind of be a mini Coach Kelly on the field is definitely somewhere I've really improved this offseason.
Okay, next question will go to Kelsey Khaleesi-Ekberg, Cronkite PBS.
Dorian, thank you so much for your time. With the crazy year we've been having, you've maybe had the opportunity to be a viewer on College Football Saturday. And I was wondering, have you been able to watch? What's that been like? And have you learned anything from having this late start?
It's definitely been heartbreaking, especially those first few weeks of college football, not being able to get out there, knowing that, our season's supposed to start at this time and we're supposed to play this team then. So it's definitely been tough kind of watch teams out there playing and stuff like that, especially teams where I have former teammates on. And I constantly have communication with them before and after games too. So it's definitely been tough. But in terms of learning stuff, I think you see the quarterback play now. You can always learn something from a different quarterback and their perspective on things. And so just being able to watch a few quarterbacks here and there and how they handle situations, I've definitely learned a lot from that too. So
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a few more minutes left, so we have time for a few more questions. If you do have one, use the raise hand function to get into the queue. We'll go to Ben Bolch for follow-up.
Dorian, you got some young guys behind you that have never thrown a pass at the college level. What do they look like if for some unfortunate reason one of them had to come in? What do you think we would see?
Yeah, so far in camp, they all look really good. With Parker, the freshman, all the way to Chase Artopius and Chase Griffin, the sophomores and stuff like that. So they all look really good this far. Like I said, really picking up on the playbook, really knowing their stuff. And the biggest thing Coach Bible preaches on is execution. So I think they're doing a really good job in that department as well.
Has anybody kind of differentiated themselves, maybe kind of the number 2 guy?
I couldn't say. That's all the Coach Bible and Coach Kelly. I worry about my job and what I'm at and where I'm doing right now and trying to get this team prepared for November 7th. So.
Thanks.
Dorian, thanks for your time. Appreciate you taking the time out of your afternoon, and best of luck this season. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.